Now, second wife, still on the internet, but this time I went to Match.com. And by the way, Match, it's already been 10 plus years. It's a success story. How about a sponsorship our way, huh? Hello, somebodies. Welcome for all you newbies, and for all you returners, thank you. So, today's show, I'm sure we're going to split the somebodies here, split our viewers, because it's going to be online dating versus in-person dating. It's going to be fun because one of us is on one side and the other host is on the other side. You'll soon figure that out. Now, without further ado, let's get to it. Now, here's the thing. I am the one that has had 2 marriages that I found 2 women on the internet. So, that's how they used to call them somebodies, okay? I found them. Now, my first wife, I found her on what was called a Yahoo chat. That's how I found my first wife. That didn't work out. Now, second wife, still on the internet, but this time I went to Match.com. And by the way, Match, it's already been 10 plus years. It's a success story. How about a sponsorship our way, huh? But anyways, yes, I found my wife on Match. Now, here's the pros about online dating. You have all their information, because what happens when you meet someone? You go on a date to try to get this information, and for the most part, men are the ones that are going to pay for the meeting, and so you're already out of pocket just to try to find out things and key details about whether or not you should continue and pursue, right? Well, online dating, you have all their stats. At the very least, what they're willing to let you know, okay? That's the truth. I'll just say that right now. Because we always send our representative, whether it's in person or online. Now, the funny thing is, with my wife and I, we are polar opposites to the point where it was such a physical attraction that we both missed the important details that we were not about. Number one, my wife, my second wife, current wife, did not want to be with a man that was already previously married, which I was. And I miss 3 key things since I am a dare kid, which is, I'm not about substances, okay? Whether it's alcohol, smoking, or drugs. Well, unfortunately, I missed all 3 because my now wife had all those 3 checkmarked at the time. So it was just physical attraction. Nonetheless, we didn't hide that. We have everything there, and we move forward. In my case, I moved forward even with all the red flags I didn't want. And again, 10 plus years, it can work. In person, I feel you have to do a little more work just to get to find out, am I going to go on a second date? Do I like her? Sometimes there's expectations and maybe a kiss even. Sometimes a little more. And some men are feeling a little aggressive. You naughties. No wonder we're called dogs, right? But that's just how I feel. Online dating, I found mine. It works.
Alright, so I've never dated online. The most thing I always think about when it comes to online dating is you don't look like the photo that was online presented. So when you show up, you're like, where's the person online? Like, oh, that's me. It was just like a 10-year-old picture. I'm like, nah, we're not doing that over here. I would need a updated photo, at least within the last 3 months. And they always say to do maybe a picture from like chest to your top of your head, and then a full body picture. So at least you know what the person physically look like, if you're, depending on what type of person you are, as far as do you need to be a certain size. So for me, I'm like, I would need all that information. If I was doing an online dating thing and the person did not look like they showed on the profile, I'm out. It's just not gonna work. I don't got time. If you're lying about that, what else are you lying about? I just ain't got time for it. So I couldn't do the online dating thing. I heard so many bad stories about it. So that's not something I would recommend or do. Yes, there are good success stories about that, but I think more of the negative aspect of that online dating than the positives.
Now, of course, in person, you're gonna feel each other out. You get to feel a vibe. That's a good positive. All of us, online or in person, are trying to impress. online, we can move on to the next profile right then and there. There's so many options at our disposal right at that moment. I forgot what the app is called. I'm sure Jay does, where you just swipe right or swipe left. I think it's Tinder. I've been out of the game for so long, people. Yeah, don't blame me if I don't know what the name of the app was, okay? I knew Jay would know, but I'm not sure what that means about him. So I'm going to have to talk to him after the show and try to figure out what's going on there. Now, quick story with me and my wife. We met on Match, and for her, it was a free weekend on Match, and I was paying. I had already dated a few, well, not dated, met up with a few girls and ended up with all the tabs. But then I found my wife that free weekend, and we just hit it off right away because of our photos. Again, the photos were so alluring to one another that we just went past our red flags. And it was funny, as we were chatting, she's admitted to me now, because she would take a break and say, hey, I'm washing my clothes, let me go check on them. She said she was actually taking a smoke break, and she was very nervous of how things were going because she was really digging me and was into me. I guess I was typing very well that night, and so was she. So that's how it does happen online, like Jay and I have talked about. I think we met up 2 days later. When two people are into each other, it makes it so much easier.
I'm just asking, if you're going through a profile, what exactly are you looking at? I guess it might depend on the website. I know some are very detailed of information you want to put in. Are you just looking for looks, looking for a hookup, looking for actual relationship? Depending on the site. Tinder, from my understanding, that's pretty much a pure hookup website. But as far as the in-person stuff, that takes a lot more work, because if you're typing, there's lulls and stuff, or you're sending a message and you might have to go to work and you don't reply back later, vice versa when you're doing the online thing. But in person, women like to have a good flowing conversation. They don't like it where you're having a good conversation starting out, then it kind of just goes downhill and it's either less talking, less of a connection type of thing. So in person, I would say if you're a man, have some talking points that you want to talk about. Yeah, I think it's just more difficult when you get to that point where it's like, okay, I don't know what to say. So that's where you kind of just like ask questions about the person. Because usually when you ask someone about themselves, they like to talk about themselves type of thing. So it's kind of like that in dating. If you're doing it in person, just ask all the stuff you want to know up front. And then it's like, okay, let me ask something that they want to talk about themselves. Kind of get a natural conversation, maybe leading to another conversation down the line.
Now, here we go. Online dating, you're able to see profiles, but you get the added bonus of checking out people that are in different cities. Maybe you see someone and you would never think to venture off a little far from your bubble, from the bubble that you just don't want to leave, your comfort. In person, you're pretty much relegated to the people you meet around your area, wherever you go. And if you go to the same area back and forth on a daily, well, you're limiting yourself. Obviously, I mean, come on, it's logical. But online dating, this is how I found my wife. We were actually about 24 miles apart at the time, but we met online, and that would not have been possible if either one of us would not have set up an account. We would not have ever known about each other. So I feel this is an excellent plus, an excellent bonus, and it all depends on how far you're willing to travel for that person. I say it like this. Here's my theory. The further a person is from you, you really, really need to build up that conversation on the chat to make sure it is worth it for you to travel so far. I'm talking about if it's 90 minutes plus, then please have that connection online that you can build to make it worth your while, because that's what you want to do. Because most times us men are the one that are going to travel over there and we're still going to get stuck with a bill. Please make it worth your while. I know some of you are looking at me like, man, Fuchi, why do you always say the bill, the bill? I can't remember the last time a woman paid for me in the bill at dinner, okay? That's why I say it. This is a new world, ladies. If you want to pay, please just plunk down your card or do it aside. I have no problem with you paying for me. That actually is one of my love languages, okay? I'll pay for you, but you can pay for me too. Hey, aren't we on equal ground? Shouldn't we start that way from jump? That's what I'm saying.
So, I agree as far as the driving distance. So, like for myself and my wife, when we started dating, we actually lived like an hour and a half apart with traffic. So, we ended up. I would always, usually, for the most part, I would travel down to where she was. Well, almost every weekend when I was in town. During that part of my for my career transition. So yeah, I would travel maybe an hour and a half there and back to where I was staying. So, and we talked a lot. So it's not like it was an issue or anything, just because we saw each other very frequently. At least I would say mostly every weekend. So the distance thing is really important, and it's better to be within a town or so, close enough in zip codes. I'm not saying you should be with someone who's in a different state, because usually long distance relationships do not work. That's an extra lot of work, because you can't go and not see someone and then try to be with them. Eventually you will break up. So closer proximity, the better, I would say. And always have like a plan of something to do, even if it's like want to just go to the beach, hang out, or if you live near a beach, go and just hang out.
Now, with online, you're relegated to just chat and the account information that you're given. Yes, and this aspect in person is going to be a little better, just because when you meet a person, even if you had some kind of knowledge of who they are, what they do, some kind of background, when you see each other for the first time, there's that instant attraction in person. There's chemistry. There's just some kind of body language. There's a look. There's a feel about it. The ambiance is all around. It's kind of like a Disney movie building up right behind you. So yes, in person, you're able to build this chemistry up a little quicker and a little easier. Online, again, you're just left with text. You're left with reading about someone. And you just have to try to piece it all together to see if this is going to be worth it. And it's not easy to build chemistry like that. It just isn't. You're working and building to meet each other. And that's the time where you'll see if it actually pans out from all the writing and texting that you were doing to one another. And maybe even a phone call. And even then, when a phone call, there's only so much you could do with the voice. I mean, granted, if they have an alluring voice, maybe like, they have an OnlyFans. That never hurts either. But nonetheless, in person is really where chemistry is really built up and you just see sparks. So in person, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that one. In-person chemistry is a lot better because you get the ambiance of everything all in one. Doing anything online as far as messaging, even back in the day when we used to send letters to people where you'll go back and forth and you'll fall in love with their personality, you see them, it's like, oh, the face doesn't match, type of thing. So yeah, I believe the chemistry thing is a real thing, and it's hard to really build that going through messages and stuff like that, because eventually you want to be physically attracted to someone as well, not just their personality, even though the personality, that's going to last a lot longer than someone's looks. But the chemistry thing is real, because you can be attracted to someone all you want to, but the personality and the vibes not matching, is not going to work.
Now, we've all heard the phrase, everything looks great on paper, everything looks fantastic on the screen. You read it, you're thinking, oh, they're checking off all these boxes. This is amazing. I found the one. Until you meet them in person. Yes, it all boils down to in person. Everything is said, everything is talked about. But in person is going to be the key. And the one common thing that does happen, it sucks to say it's a negative, but catfishing, okay? I mean, shoot, MTV made an entire show about this. But you have to figure out, it's not easy online to try to see if this is going to be worth meeting up with this person. Did I get past red flags just because I'm so attracted to them that I'm missing key things here? Compatibility is not easy online. It's only gonna be worth it in person. It really is. Everything leads up to in person. So again, in person, you win this round. You won a couple of rounds. Online is okay, but compatibility is only gonna be felt once you meet eye to eye, see each other, feel each other, if you're lucky enough to have that happen. But yeah, in person is gonna be the one time that online just can't cut it.
I would prefer either just meet someone through casual life, going to a certain place, whatever the case may be, or, and this is how they used to do it, I believe, where you have a friend or a family member's like, oh, I think you should meet so and so. I think you guys will vibe and will get along, and you guys make a good couple. I think the best way to actually get into a relationship with someone is either by chance, you just out and about and it's meant to be, or having like, you know what, I have a friend, I think you guys should meet, and then see if they hit it off and go through, because you know they're kind of similar in certain ways, got certain things in common. I always felt that was a good thing to do, as far as, okay, it's like, you know what, I have my cousin over here, I think you would like him. You guys should meet, hang out, and see what happens. You introduce them first, of course, and then see if there's any type of vibe or connection, because they might have some type of chemistry. I always like those type of get-togethers, because it's more like you have a buffer, and then you know what the person who introduced you, they know the good and the bad about both of you guys, so you can kind of give them the, okay, this is what they like, what they don't like type of thing. But yeah, I always felt like, I thought if I was going to ever end up with someone, I was going to have to meet them through somebody else. I wouldn't just be out on the street and then I find them through, happen by chance. But I met someone through technically work, so there you go.
Hey, some buddies, what'd I say? I believed in you. You made it to the end. And guess what? I know your hand is still working. You can click for us. You can click the like, the subscribe, and hey, get crazy, get creative. Click both. We love it. And why? We just enjoy giving you our opinions, giving you all this knowledge that we drop upon you. I mean, hell, Jay drops it heavier than I do. It always happens. And if you have topics that you would like for us to talk about, delve into, please, by all means, put it in the comment section. Let us know, hey, Mafuchi, Jay, can you talk about this, that, and the other? Hey, can you tell me why my wife does this? Hey, can you tell me why my husband doesn't do this? You know, yada, 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 all that stuff. We're ready to give you the hot goss. Now, since we're at the end, as always, this is Mafuchi, he is Jay. We will see you next time.
Later.